Welcome back. So today we're going to be taking a quick look at a mini PC from one of my top favorite mini PC brands out there, Geekom. So this is their AX8 Max. This is a pretty nice one. It's got a lot going for it, and it's being billed as one of the best mini PCs for around $500. And I know people hear these prices for mini PCs. You can be kind of twisted on it, but if you're in the market for a PC or a mini PC, I mean, you got to look at the value of what you're getting here and what you can do with the thing, right? Sure, you can buy a video game console, but if you need a PC, this might fit your budget and it's fairly capable. So let's take a look at this thing. I just recently did a video too on my top favorite mini PCs for 2025 of all the ones that I've reviewed so far. So if you want to take a look at that, I do have a few Geekom PCs in that video and a few from another brand. But yeah, take a look at that video. There's some nice recommendations there for all sorts of different prices from like $200 all the way up to like $800. So there's a very wide price range for mini PCs out there. But back to the AX8 Max. So this thing is a Ryzen 7 8745HS 8-core 16-thread CPU with the Radeon 780M graphics integrated, right? So this is a CPU that's been around. It's very capable. With this setup, they did send this to me for purpose of review, mind you. This one does have 32 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM at 5600 megahertz, 1 terabyte M2 SSD drive for storage, came with Windows 11 Pro pre-installed. Now, I did take this thing apart, so I'll kind of show that the packaging, the way they packaged this one, it's a lot more fancier than any of the other mini PCs that I've got from Geekom in the past, just the way they did it. I don't know. I think there's some kind of psychology around packaging. I did think this was neat, kind of not necessary, but it's nice packaging. It's neither here nor there though. But this thing, I opened it up very easy if you want to do some upgrades for the RAM and whatnot. But it's just the 4 screws underneath. If you want to go a little further, take a look at that Ice Blast 2.0 cooling that they say, which does keep the system very nicely cooled. From what I noticed, you can go a little further, take a couple more screws out and disassemble it. But this whole thing is, there's like no plastic that I noticed other than, the rubber feet on the bottom. But it's all aircraft grade aluminum alloy for the body. So very durable little mini PC. I guess you could drop it maybe a couple times, but probably don't. But you got that. So now as far as input outputs, this one has a lot going for it. More so than I've seen pretty much any other mini PC that I've taken a look at. This one, though, with Geekom, they usually have a SD card slot. This one does not have that. But what we do have, we have dual 2.5G LAN ports, so that could come in handy. We do have dual USB Type-C ports for 40 gigabytes per second transfer speed, or you can use it for 8K 30 hertz video output or power delivery. So there's a lot of options there with the USB Type-C. And then you also have 2 HDMIs, so you got support for up to 4 displays if you have a use for that, right? Then you have 5 USB 3.2s and 1 USB 2.0, and then a 3.5 millimeter audio jack. And then also on our board, we do have Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3, and always with Geekom, you do get a 3-year warranty. And I did mention this in maybe a video before, but there was a mini PC that I bought from Geekom that wasn't sent to me for purpose of review that I had a very minor issue with, and they did take care of the warranty very quickly and friendly. So, I mean, from my experience, I can't speak for everyone. From my experience, what they do say out there, as far as their claims with their warranty, I did personally have to deal with that once. It was fairly painless dealing with that. So beside all that, we also have 3 different power mode optimizations. You have like a quiet mode for low power, normal for versatile performance, and then a performance mode to push the system for the best gaming experience possible. So obviously more power consumption and more heat, but that Ice Blast 2.0 cooling should help with that a little bit. But with all my testing here, I just wanted to leave it at the normal setting to see what we're at with, a typical performance with this system. And as always, what I typically do with these things is use them for gaming, emulation, and PC gaming. I'm fairly familiar with this chipset, so it doesn't surprise me too much with PC gaming, but I did want to kind of throw a few things at it. Playing like Doom Dark Ages, throwing it down to like medium, low settings. I was getting anywhere from like low 30 frames to like up to almost 50 frames per second. To me, very playable. You with some frame generation, you could tweak some things here, get better performance, and also, like I said, you do have that performance mode that you could push things if you want. So you have that. Also played some Warhammer Space Marine 2, which is a fantastic freaking game and a very graphic intense game that I've had struggle on other systems in the past, and it was running extremely well here. There's so many instances in this game where it can chug along on the wrong system, where you have just so many enemies on screen at once, and it seemed to play just fine on the Geekom AX8 Max, so I was pleasantly surprised there. It did have to lower settings a little bit, but the game still looked fantastic. Then another one that I've never played this game before on Steam, Hogwarts Legacy. I started playing that, and the game, I think it just benchmarks your PC and then just sets the performance, sets, everything to the performance of the PC, so you don't have to, fiddle around with anything. And the game looked great and it performed great. Like, there was nothing I had to do to like set that game up, and it looked fantastic. So yeah, Hogwarts Legacy was running awesome. Now I'm moving over to, emulation, retro emulation. Obviously, I'm not messing around with any low-end stuff. You're going to be able to play your Super Nintendo, your Sega Genesis, Nintendo 64, stuff like that just fine. So why bother wasting time with that? You're going to have no issues, even with like Dreamcast, stuff like that. But I wanted to throw a few things at it. PSP runs fine on this. You're going to have zero issues there. Moving over to like PS2, didn't have any issues with PS2. So yeah, you're good there. Same thing, moving up to PS3. I don't think I had any issues with PS3. Let me double check. Yeah, I just had to review my footage for PS3 before I spoke and choked on my words here, but PS3 was running just fine. I played a few games there. And also, moving over to like Wii, I always like to test Wii a little bit. A lot of times, most of those games will play fine, but then you'll have like a few games that might be, I don't know, like they're not optimized well for the emulator or something. They might have to build up or whatever. Things like Tatsunoko versus Capcom, stuff like that. That game, once you start playing it, after a moment, it chugs for a second, but then it clears up and the game just runs fantastically well. So Wii, for the most part, is going to be fine. And it's going to be the same thing with like Wii U. Wii U, I wasn't having any issues with at all as well. And then always with the forbidden fruit, I just always have to touch on this just a little bit, slightly, and that is the Nintendo Switch. Jumping into things like Super Mario Odyssey. I don't even know if there's like these emulators available out there. I play this stuff off of like these hard drives that I got off of like AliExpress. So like, I'll put a link to a video or to, where I got the drive from off of AliExpress if you're interested. That's how I play all these games. I don't download none of this stuff. Just have it on a drive that I got. But Nintendo Switch, man, yeah, it's playing great. Looks better than playing on my Nintendo Switch. So yeah, this is a very capable system with a lot of input outputs, a very high quality system that if you're looking for something where you need a PC and you want a game and you have your expectations in check, this might be the one for you. So yeah, up the switch on emulation. PC gaming, you're going to be able to do some AAA gaming with, the right settings for some games. Some games will be optimized a little better. But there you go. Let me know what you think. Links down below. Thanks for watching. Bye.